All right, guys, how are you all doing? So today I want to discuss how Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. will play together at Real Madrid. Today, Carlo had this quote where he said, "Kylian is 100% ready. Kylian is showing his quality, his desire, his commitment. Having so many good players has ruined my holiday. I keep wondering who will play all the time." So, um, I mean, that figures. You're the manager of Real Madrid. You have all these great options up front. I don't think Carlo has quite had this problem yet during his second stint. I mean, obviously his first stint there were so many great players, but even this first stint, I don't think he had this many problems. But his second stint this time, and this is the first like real time where he's had to like actually think like, what is going to be my front line because there's so many players. You have Vinny, Mbappe, Endrick, Brahim, Rodrigo, Arda Güler. Arda Güler and Brahim, I think they are kind of like lower in the pecking order. But I think Goulet still has a real chance of making his claim for the starting 11 as the season goes on. So yeah, it's gonna give him a pretty hard time. But this Super Cup tomorrow, I do think we'll see something like this. A normal 4-3-3. That's what Carlo has been using during the preseason. I don't get why he would change it now, since he is stuck with this. I think if he did want to play, say with a diamond like this, like we did last season, we'd have seen a variation of this during the preseason, which we didn't. Last preseason, we saw this right from the start. That's why I think most of us, right, most of us thought that he's gonna play this throughout the season, which he did end up doing. Uh, but this preseason, he stuck with the 4-3-3, and I think this is what we'll see tomorrow, and this is what we'll see throughout the rest of the season, unless there's a tweak. And Carlos not opposed to making tweaks in an interview with John Mokel. I don't know if you guys saw that. He said, we learn from mistakes, we learn from losses, and I think as the season goes on, if this doesn't work, we might just see Real Madrid go back to, again, a diamond with four in the midfield. But for now, this is what Carlo wants to do. So yeah, let's talk about it now. In goal, Thibaut Courtois, obviously. Lunin, I'll be honest, Lunin had a great season last season, but there were moments where I just wasn't convinced with him, especially when it came to shots around this area, right? We saw this against City with someone like Josko Gavario. We saw it in the Euros. I feel like when he started for Ukraine as well, I think that's a weakness in his game. Not a major weakness, because these kinds of shots don't happen often. But when they do, Lunin does seem to be vulnerable, more than I would like, So Thibaut Courtois coming back, he's a man mountain. He's a giant in goal. He can make these saves pretty easily and more comfortably than someone like Lunin would. So yeah, Thibaut Courtois gets the start. The two center back pairing is Antonio Rudiger and Eder Militao. Again, they do have problem when they played together. Not just last season, but the season before that. I mean, Militao did get injured pretty early last season, but the season before that, when they did play together, they had an issue of aggression, in my opinion. I think these are two very aggressive center backs that want to go forward, carry the ball, play those diagonals to Vinny, to the wingers. Very forward-thinking, aggressive defenders, and I think you really have a problem because there's really no one to be that. I mean, Rudiger is a leader. Militao is going to become a leader too, but they don't have a calm presence in the back, in my opinion. That's what they missed with David Alaba. So this pairing, I think someone needs to be that calm presence, organizing everything, and someone needs to be the aggressor. I don't think both can be the aggressor at the same time, because I feel like that's very risky. It's going to lead to Real Madrid conceding a lot of goals throughout the season. So hopefully they figure that out pretty early on in the season rather than later, because that would be, I think, a problem. But I don't see why they wouldn't. So yeah, those two as center back. Left back, I don't know. I think Mendy's back, so Mendy here. And then Carvajal, obviously, great Euros campaign. He's going to be the right back. Had a fantastic season last year. Hopefully he can replicate it again. At the 6, you have Tchouaméni. Left 8, Jude Bellingham. And the right 8, Fede Valverde. Camavinga today, he did pick up a knock. Thankfully, they did a check. It wasn't ACL. Thank God. Let's go. I mean, he is injured. I don't want to say let's go, but I mean, especially with Martinez's injury a few days ago, this is always a scare. So thankfully, that didn't happen. But this is the midfield Real Madrid will go with, and I think this is the midfield they're going to stick with throughout this season, because these are the players that Carlo trusts. Bellingham last season, very like heavy responsibility. He he just had a fantastic season. He lived up to every single expectations, all the responsibility, all the pressure. Chouameni, Carlos always trusted him over Camavinga at the 6. I don't see why that changes, especially with Kama injured now. It's going to be very hard for Kama to find his place in this team, in my opinion. During the season, I think he'll be mostly a rotation player when anyone here is injured or not fully fit or they need to get a rest for a big game, whatever. I think Kama will come in, but I also think we'll see Kama start regularly. Again, for one of these to have a rest when it's required, him coming off the bench, I think Kama will get a lot of minutes, especially since it's a long season as well. And then Fede Valverde as the right 8, I think he's a leader in this team. He's, for me, the future captain. Probably the most reliable person in this team last season. I thought he was the reason Real Madrid's system really functioned. I know you had Bellingham, Vinny, just making the difference up top. But I think it was because of Fede Valverde. What he did around here, letting Carvajal push up, right? Making like kind of a 3 here, forming that partnership with Chouameni here, and just improving his game deeper on the pitch, with his passing, just his technical qualities, just improving them to be used to Real Madrid when Carvajal did push up. And especially with Kroos gone now, he's going to be super important to that. I do think he's the best passer in the team now. Now that Kroos is gone, his diagonals to say someone like Vinny from these areas are fantastic. I don't think no one can do him better in this team. So he's gonna be really important this season. Again, with Kroos out now, the work he already does to let Carvajal have more freedom and giving him defensive support, not just letting Carvajal go up. So I think very important player, very, very important. On the left, you have Vinny. On the middle, Mbappe. And on the right, I do think Goulet will get Rodrigo's place as the season goes on, because I think Goulet just is a better fit here. But I think as of now, Rodrigo gets that right. And hey, you know what? Rodrigo has a chance to prove himself. I do hope he proves himself, and I do hope he makes this place his own, because I don't want to see Rodrigo out of this 11. He's a player with so much quality, so much. He can make the difference at any moment as well. He provides transition threat with the ball. He's comfortable. He can link up his associative play. The 1-2s, they're amazing. But yeah, let's talk about how this front 3 will work. Again, a lot of people talking about how Vinny and Mbappe won't work out together. I disagree. If you watch Vinny and Benzema's relationship when those two played together, it was fantastic. As Benzema would normally pick up these positions, Vinny would go in. You'll see these little 1-2s, and then bam, goal. Or a very threatening counter, or just a very threatening, 1-2 combination to break down blocks. It was great. It was fantastic. And I think that's how Kylian Mbappe will be used alongside Vinny, because I think he has so many of the great qualities that Benzema did. Not the same mind and the intelligence and the playmaking qualities of a Benzema, but especially like deeper on in the pitch. But in the final third, his combination plays with his teammates, his creativity, his chance creation, I think is fantastic. I think he's a better chance creator than Benzema, but Benzema was just better in these areas, just orchestrating everything. So there is a difference between the two, but I think there's a lot of similarities, especially with Vinny's improvement through the middle last season. I think this relationship, Mbappe goes left, Vinny comes centrally. Vinny goes left, Mbappe comes centrally. Both great runners. They can run off of each other. Mbappe gets the ball here, plays Vinny through. Bam, Vinny drops. Mbappe goes. See, it's just a fantastic relationship, and I think this will be what's going to drive Real Madrid throughout this season. And if they want to win back-to-back Champions Leagues and retain the league title, this is going to be the relationship that does it for them. And then obviously you have Rodrigo on the left. Now I don't think Rodrigo will solely stay on the right. Carlos said it. The pitch is big. Look at how wide this pitch is. These players can play all across the front line, in my opinion. Rodrigo, during Benzema's last season, when he picked up a lot of injuries, was employed through the middle. I feel like he did a decent job. He can drop deep. Again, Mbappe, he's played on the right. He's played it through the middle. He's played on the left. Vinny, not so much on the right, but I think, when during a game, right, when it requires, he can transition here, pick up the ball, and put in a fantastic cross, or go in, wait for Rodrigo, again, those little 1-2s, bam, and then he's through. So many combination plays. I think this front line is made for combinations plays. It's made for these quick relationships on the pitch. And I think that's gonna be that's gonna be what's so great about this team is we're gonna see some fantastic football. If this front line is as fluid and what you call it, it's as fluid as I think it will be, I think the football that Real Madrid are going to play is fantastic. And people normally mention, right, like, where's the creativity in this midfield? Because you don't really have like a big chance creator. You don't have like Jude. I wouldn't say is a fantastic chance creator. I do think he's good. I think he's underrated in that aspect. But I don't think he's anything outstanding or like the world class level. You know, same with Jude. Same with Freddy Valverde. I think he's good, but I don't think he's at the level of say some of the best creators in the world, right? But I think that's not really needed from this midfield because these front three are creative enough. I mean, Mbappe, like I said, is one of, if not the best creator in the final third. You have Vinny Jr., who can create for days. We've seen his passes to a runner here, for example, with the Trivella. We've seen those before. We have seen Vinny get to the byline so easily, cut it back for his teammate. We've seen Vinny do those 1-2s and just create something from nothing. I don't think that's needed. Same with Rodrigo, by the way. I don't think we need that much creativity from the midfield like people think we do. And Bellingham joining this attack will also make it so much more dynamic and robust, which will be fantastic to watch. That's why I think this team will play some incredible football. And then you have, in the end, you have Dani Carvajal as well pushing up, letting Rodrigo go in, which is fantastic. We might see like front five like this with Valverde kind of holding down this space right here, which again works for me, is fantastic. And hopefully we see something like this tomorrow. Well, I'm very excited. And yeah, that was it. I think that's how this squad will be used. One last thing. I want to talk about Valverde as well. Now, when Jude puts this up here, I think Tchouaméni and Valverde, they're going to kind of form like a two-man midfield, letting Carvajal push up as well. And this is where I think Valverde will really excel this season, bro. Him in this role, we saw it around December, November, alongside Kroos in a 4-4-2. But I think he's going to have such a fantastic season because of that. I know I mentioned it earlier, but I want to mention it again. I think he's going to be so important in the build-up, even getting the ball forward, just helping out the team. So important, so important. So yeah, that's how I think the team will be. That's how I think the team will set up. And hopefully tomorrow, the Super Cup game, it goes well and Real Madrid win and get the job done. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Subscribe for more because I am going to be making, probably not daily, but I'll try. I'll try to do this consistently because I think it's fun. It's a quick way of doing it. I get to talk a lot. So yeah, thank you guys for watching and take care.